Hi and welcome to the Process Diary for January 2010. This video picks up where the last one left off. We're now done with the concept art and the initial sketching of the front and side views, and now we're ready to move on into the modeling phase. So here I am in Blender. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my background image. So I'm going to navigate to where I've saved that image. Tholemo profile. And there it is. I'm going to enlarge this so that I can work to a system where 10 of these small units or one of these large units equals 1 meter, and so 2 of these would equal 2 meters. In Blender, it's pretty open this way. You can generally use the Blender unit to mean pretty much anything that you need it to mean, instead of going around and setting off, setting feet, inches, that sort of thing. And of course, what we want to do is center this front view. So this means that he's about 190 centimeters tall, and in our front view we've got it smack bang on the center line. So now I'm going to split my screen and I'm going to change this right hand side view to side, and I'm going to offset my background so that my side view is where I want the model to end up. So there's the front, and here's the side. I'm just going to save that file now in my models folder. Alright, so of course we need to begin by adding a cube. So we're going to make sure I'm in edit mode here. Add cube. Going to go into transparent mode here. Move my cube up in the Z direction to roughly where his torso is, and now I can move in there. Let's widen that, and I'm just going to get enough detail extruded out of this cube. And I can probably begin to just position that there. Just going to just sort of right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this cube right down the middle, get rid of one entire side, and in my modifier stack I'm going to select mirror, make sure that do clipping is on. X is the default, but you can make it mirror in any of the axes. This means that all I've got to do is model one side of the cube at a time. And I just want to start positioning the vertices to get a rough outline of the body. Might have to start adding a little bit of information as I go. There we go there. This will be the hip, of course. So in the front view it looks good. In the side view it definitely needs a little bit of editing. So we're going to start moving our vertices into position here, and the whole idea is to try to get this starting shape close to the sort of silhouette of the character. This is obviously going to be the highest point of the chest. This is going to be just under the pectoral muscle. These areas here are going to be around the gut. That's going to be around the groin. And if we were to take a quick look in perspective, we can already see how just this box shape has already got the basic torso shape of the character. What we want to now do is just start adding information as we need it, and we definitely need some extra info in the side view. I'm gonna split a couple more loops in here, selecting that edge loop in front view. I'm gonna widen these out a little bit. I think I'm gonna need to go into to vertex mode here. Just get edge loops there, and go into vertex. And just grab those and pull those out there just a little bit. The shoulders can now start to take a little bit of shape there. We'll definitely need some more detail down the front. I might just put one subdivision there for now, and just get a little bit of roundness there. Let's see what it looks like in 3D. Now our back's looking quite good, actually. And now the exercise is just to try to form as much of that that shape as close as possible to the drawing. You can see how the drawing can really help in a lot of ways. By allowing us to figure out some of the definition that's required. Here. If we could imagine this line going around just under the legs there, you can sort of see how this waist might shape up. Now there might need to be a bit of extra detail around this line of the pelvis here. Looking a bit like a transformer, so I'm going to sort of smooth out that hip area there for now. It's too far inside. This definitely needs another edge loop around here. Now this area of the hip seems to be around the belt line, and I think the belt line is a little bit in the wrong spot. That's definitely the small of the back there. I'm taking a few liberties here with the hips, which we'll rectify once we get the legs extruded. Now I think I'm going to have to put one more loop down the front here. I think this is going to help a great deal. For starters, it's going to allow us to form out the neck a little bit. Now he's obviously got a fairly thick neck, and to make this a lot more straightforward, to show where the neck is going to spring from, I'm just going to remove this edge, so we could imagine that the neck would be extruded from here, and this allows us to bring down the front part of that to form some sort of a collarbone in this area. And then sort of bring a lot of these points out here. Of course, the chest is a little lower than the back. Okay, so that's starting to get a little bit more definition there, as we can see. He's going to be a fairly stocky character, and even just in that sort of block, sort of low poly version, we can already start to see how the figure is emerging. Sort of happy with where that's headed, so I'm going to go ahead and extrude out my arms and take a look at what information I've got here to do so. Probably in side view might be the best. Now, of course, we want a little bit of wraparound with the pectoral muscles and the back muscles, but what might be a good idea is to take these 6 and extrude the region, shrink it down, maybe shrink it in the Y direction a little bit more into, maybe, say, if we still want a bit of Z there, and bring that out a little bit so we can sort of have this nice shoulder definition there. Scale it in the X, and then just start to extrude out. Let's see here, we've got a bit of a bicep, but we need to sort of shrink this down overall. It's in the Y direction. It doesn't look that great. I'm going to sort of edit the vertices here so that we get a more consistent form across the arm. And of course, we get a bit of a bicep and tricep bulge. We sort of want to make that look as natural as possible. Okay, let's get those faces back selected, and from there we can extrude again. Bring those up there. I'm going to go into top view here for a second, so that I can extrude the elbow region. Now, the elbow region is always an interesting one. Let's see here. I think I better keep this on the side view and keep this on the front view so we can see the arm there. Put this into top view over here for now. The elbow region is a little bit interesting one because you have to sort of scale in the Y direction and get that elbow over here looking just right, and just bring out those vertices there. And the fold isn't just a modeling decision; it's also a future-proofing for rigging as well. So we're going to select all of those points again and continue to extrude. We'll extrude one more time there to finalize this elbow. Scale a little bit in the Y direction and bring that round like that. We've got the beginnings of a forearm here, but what we're going to do is do another extrude there, scale that up so we get a nice large forearm. There we go. We can sort of see that it's a little bit wonky, but we can modify as we go if we want. Or we can just come back and modify once we've extruded the basic shape. So of course the next extrusion might go all the way out to the wrist. We scale that down, bring that up, scale it down a little bit. I'm going to leave it at the wrist because the hand is something that will need to be modeled. I'm probably going to choose to do the hand separately. Go into side view again here. And already we can sort of see how the lines from the chest into the bicep are working. The shoulder's not that well defined, but we'll probably have to throw in a few more details around the shoulder region. And you can see how I'm not really using the sketch, because the sketch is a little bit over the top, I guess, and it wouldn't really work. So this is the armpit, of course. Armpits are always a bugger. In fact, I'm gonna bring that up. Anytime you have a fold, it's really a great idea to get as much detail around the fold area, because when it comes to deforming, the skeleton has the rig has an easier time when it comes to say taking all of these vertices and bending them around, because then you've suddenly got a line where we can sort of pivot from. And we need, of course, to round the side of the body out there. Might just start pushing in some of these points around here. Okay, so let's take a look at this in 3D, and yeah, I'm kind of liking that. He's looking like he's fairly muscle bound. He's got a good pectoral area and a nice bicep area, and this is going to be really good because when that's subsurfaced, he's going to prove to be like a fairly good and easy character to rig and pose for the shot. All right, so now what we've got left to extrude is the legs, and the best way to do this is to take all of the faces that are necessary for the legs, and that's pretty much from the hip down to the groin, but you sort of have to leave a little bit, especially in male characters, if you know what I mean. And I'm going to bring that out there, scale it around, and you sort of want to get stuck into getting the thigh region working just as quickly as possible. Just going to scale that in there, start to rotate it. And the first thing you want to do is, like the arms, you want to sort of get the basic feel of it. Now it's going to be a little bit wonky because the hip isn't entirely straight to begin with. I'm going to continue that, bring that down to the knee area there. And every now and then you've got to sort of pull one of these vertices out to keep the shape consistent. Now, I think this has got a perimeter of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vertices. So it's actually a lot of detail for a leg, which means that we can get to some fairly good shapes once we get modeling. Once we get refining, to sort of a refining stage of this model. I'm gonna sort of fix up this region around here. Continue the selection there. I've got the thighs going. Just going to rotate that a little bit that way, and maybe a little bit this way, so it can maybe make things a little bit easier on us. And like with the elbow, you want to sort of start bringing out the knee detail. I'm going to bring that down again, rotate that out to here. And we're going to extrude the shin now, sort of moving that over, moving this back in the Y direction over here. Scaling that in there, scaling this in the Y over here. And again, as it was in the last video that I did on body modeling, I'm not going to exactly stick to the sketch, but rather going to take just a few liberties for the sake of making it look more correct in 3D. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at what we've got right now. Okay. And as far as a body goes, that's I'm just going to go into. Actually, I better not join those areas. But I might sort of just enlarge that. I'm really liking where that's headed. Alright, so that concludes part 1 of the body modelling tutorial. Next month I'm going to be continuing with the hands, feet and head, so I look forward to seeing you again around then. So for this month it's bye from me.